Hi and welcome to another Type with Me. In today's video I want to talk about WebGPU versus WebGL. What's the difference? We have WebGPU, which is modern, powerful, future-proof, and we have WebGL, legacy, simple and limited. So WebGL, it's the proven, widely adopted API for web graphics. And then we have WebGPU, the modern, low-level graphics API for the future web. They have the same goal, high-performance graphics on the web. It's different generations and different power. On the one hand, you have design philosophy. So WebGPU is low-level and explicit. And then you have the other part, the high level and implicit way. WebGPU has a better performance than WebGL. Multi-threaded by design for WebGPU, mostly main thread for WebGL. Then how are we doing it for shader language? Well, you have the WebGPU shading language, and for WebGL you have the OpenGL shading language. For resource management, you can create, manage and destroy GPU resources, more control, more responsibility. And the WebGL, it has the library and driver handle much of the resource life cycle. And it has, for modern GPU features, more capabilities, right? And a limited feature set for WebGL because it's higher level, right? So WebGL versus WebGPU, it's same scene, different power. So for WebGL with Three.js we have a high level WebGL. It has lower performance than WebGPU. It has limited features for WebGL, other shader language, right? And we have for memory control, it's implicit, less control, more hidden work, and for WebGPU, explicit fine-grained control for maximum performance, right? So why GPU matters? It has better performance, more features, lower power usage, and built for the future. And of course, if I say GPU, I also refer towards AI, right? If we can put certain things in the graphical processing unit, GPU, then we also take a link towards NVIDIA, and we also know that AI is involved. So bringing high performance AI to the web. WebGPU gives the web direct access to the GPU, enabling fast parallel computation for machine learning workloads, which is great. Massive parallelism, high performance and on-device and private. How does it work? Well, we have a model, we have WebGPU compute, and we have our results, and then we can display it, right? We can run AI with GPU, and then you have here some kind of an example, but I will point you right away towards a real great example. So possible use cases that we can do is image classification, object detection, face and pose estimation, background removal, and generative AI diffusion. And these are just some kind of examples that we have. So this is an example of something rendered by WebGL, another one rendered by WebGPU, right? And because this is just a very easy and simple object, you see that we don't have a lot of differences, right? The difference in performance is not or almost not noticeable. So I think you're only gonna see this if you have real big scenes. But let's go towards the code. Alright, so I have a page here where we do an import map of three.module.js. Then we do an import. We have our orbit controls. Then we have web GPU renderer. And then we create a scene. a new tree scene.background certain color. Then we have camera or camera position, and then we look into, do we have WebGPU renderer? If we have it, we use that. Otherwise we use Three.WebGL renderer, right? Then we do the renderer.setSize. Then we do container.append child. We use our controls. We create our geometry. And then here we create our animation. And then here we can say create scene, where we say, hey, I just want to have the WebGL, and the other one I want to have the WebGPU, right? So that is this demo. So the next one that I want to try to do here is this one, text classification running locally, GPU accelerated. If I do now run, then we see that it's positive. Say I am skeptic. That's negative. Planning to use WebGPU for AI. It's a little bit strange, but it's negative. I don't think it's negative. I love to use. I looking forward to use WebGPU for AI. So you can very easily play around with it and see how you can use then these text classifications within the browser for your application, right? And how does this looks like? Well, we have some pipeline and an environment. Here we say we enable WebGPU if available. So we say here Onyx wasm proxy false and wasm number threads equals 1. Then try to force WebGPU, allow local models, false, and then environment backends Onyx execution providers, WebGPU and WASM. Then we can load our model once. So here we load our model. We say we want to have the sentiment analysis pipeline, and we want to use Distelbert base uncased fine-tuned SST2 English model, right? And so first of all it goes to this one, then to this one, so we can set up our pipelines. Yeah. And then of course run AI, we can run then our AI, say classifier, then the results, this will be then the result, to say confidence, and our result.score is that one. That's actually what we're going to do, right? So, well, if you want to have some more info, then you can go here, right? And one of the things I was a little bit wrong about is that the first one is what you want to do, and the second one is actually the model itself. And that was something I thought was a bit different, but it's indeed how you do this. And then you get, for example, here label 5 stars, and then with that's kind of a score. You can see automatic speech recognition, and then you can do this with this kind of a model, right? So I think it's very powerful. You can go to Hugging Face to get more info about the transformers to JavaScript, to get some kind of more explanation around the pipeline API, right? So I hope you enjoyed it. I hope you learned a little bit about it. I hope you think WebGPU will be very useful. I think it's a nice one to think about, that we now have also the power of the GPU, the graphical processing unit, at our fingertips. and you can start using that. I'm definitely gonna play a little bit more with running models on WebGPU to see how and what kind of cool things you can do with it, because of course if you have more power into the browser, you have a great distribution channel to do crazy stuff with the models that are available right now. Maybe also bake them in or see how you can start using it to create cool stuff, right? So thank you very much for watching, and I hope to see you in the next one.